Welcome to my NFL Week 17 picks, and next week is the final week of the regular season. And then we got the playoffs, and then we're talking about scout reports in the 2023 draft. Get that in there, but let's talk about last night's game. Where the Titans versus the Cowboys. The Titans were plus 13 on the spread, and the Cowboys were minus 13. Cowboys got the win on 1-0 so far on the spread for this week. Early Sunday games: Cardinals versus Falcons versus Cardinals. I'm gonna go for the Falcons minus the 3.5. Cardinals again. If it's not for this week, I think next week Cliff Kingsbury gets himself fired, because again, if Nathaniel if he was doing such a bad job, Nathaniel Hackett got himself fired, then they need to fire Cliff Kingsbury, because again, what he's been doing to this Cardinals team, he needs to be fired. So that's it. Then we have the Lions versus the Bears in the NFC North. We need to get this win. As a Lions fan, we need to get the job done on Sunday against the Bears. Not just because it's a division game, but we fucked up against the Panthers last week, so we need to get the job done. I'm going to go for the Lions minus the 6. Texans versus the Jags. The Texans had a surprise win last week, but I'm going to go for the Jags minus the 4. The Chiefs versus the Broncos. Again, the Broncos are without Nathaniel Hackett, so how are they going to be how are they going to be now that Nathaniel Hackett has been fired? I'm still going to say the Chiefs are going to get the win, minus the 12.5. We had the Patriots versus the Dolphins earlier in the year, and Mike McDaniel's first game in charge of the NFL, way beginning of week 1, he beat Bill Belichick. Can he do the double over him in week 17? The Dolphins, again, they've lost 4 consecutive games in a row. They don't have any. Tua isn't going to be playing in this game because of a concussion he has. So Teddy Bridgewater is coming back in. I'm going to go for the Dolphins plus the 3. Then we have the Giants versus the Colts. The Colts going after a short week. They played on Monday night. I'm going to go for the Giants minus the 6. Then we have the Eagles versus the Saints. Eagles lost to the Cowboys last week in their division game. When I'm going to say the Eagles, they're on the road to the Saints, I'm going to say the Eagles get the win plus the 6.5. We have the Bucs versus the Panthers. Again, if the Panthers can win this game and win next week, they get the title of their division against the Bucs. So I'm going to go for the Panthers plus the 3. Again, what a great turnaround Steve Wilkes has been doing with this team. Then we have the Commanders versus the Browns. Browns have a poor defense, but I'm going to go for the Commanders minus the 2. Again, Deshaun Watson's just recently come back, so he's trying to get his game back and get back into the flow of the NFL. So, but I'm going to go for the Commanders minus the 2. The late Sunday games: Raiders versus the 49ers. Derek Carr is going to be dropping Derek Carr after this season, but 49ers, they want that second place, that second seed in the AFC West. So I'm going to go for the 49ers minus the 10. Then we have Seattle versus the Jets. Geno Smith versus the Jets. I'm going to go for the Seahawks plus the 1.5. We have the Packers versus the Vikings in the NFC North, no division game. Packers need to win this game if they have any hope of getting into the playoffs. They're just clinging on just bit by bit. When you think they're out of the playoffs, they come back. So we need to win our game. Lions need to get their shit together on Sunday, and then late Sunday the Vikings need to get their shit together so they can get the NFC North and stop these cheeseheads from getting the playoff place. So I'm going to go for the Vikings plus the 3.5. Then we have the Chargers versus the Chargers. Then we have the Chargers versus the Rams. The Chargers have got the playoff place on Monday night. Again, they're on a short week. I'm going to go for the Chargers minus 6.5. I know that the Rams did a shutout for the Broncos, but the Broncos were a dumpster fire anyway. So, again, the Rams haven't been good this season, but the Broncos were bad as well. But I'm going to say the Chargers win minus 6.5. Ravens versus Steelers. Ravens have a really poor offense. I'm not really impressed with their offense this year. But I'm going to go for the Ravens minus 2.5. Steelers. Again, this for Steelers, it's not about the playoffs. It's about seeing what you have with Kenny Pickett and see what you need in the draft for next year and in the offseason. And again, then you have the Monday night game, the big game this week for Week 17. It's going to be Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen. On Monday night, this is hard really to call for this one, but I'm going to go for the Bills minus the 1 on this one. And that is my Week 17 picks for the NFL. You can leave yours in the comments. I'll have mine in the description box like I have every single week. I know I didn't do them the last 2 weeks, but yeah, I'll leave them down in the description box. You can check them out, read them, and whatever. Peace.